now pour the tea. Usually I'm not someone to get like a flavored tea like this. I prefer just loose leaf tea. But this one is so delicious. It has mandarin, apple, and green tea with guarana. I'm trying to cut down on my Red Bull consumption, and so I do still need like little bits of energy like that. Okay, swapping cups because that's definitely broken. I'm currently in my luteal phase, so this is potentially the worst or best time to talk about it. I feel like I'm more honest in my luteal phase and evil. So we'll see which one comes out today. If you are a pole dancer, I hope that this can shed a different light to possibly how you may have felt. I did express this with some instructors who said that this was quite normal, especially at the time frame that I was in, but no one really talks about it. If you are like me and felt a little bit alone in this journey, hopefully this sheds some light for you. I've gotten to the point now where I can break down my thoughts into 3 different stages: body, mind, and soul. I've been wanting to do pole dancing since I was 18. I was not confident about my body whatsoever, and that was probably the main drawback for me in actually going and trying out pole. Also, just like mental health things. Like, I don't feel like I had the confidence to start it when I was younger. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad I didn't. I started pole 3 years ago, loved it. I put all of my effort, all of my money into this hobby. It really encouraged me to keep going. I was addicted to it. And I've gone through a few phases with it as well. Generally was always loving it. And it genuinely like became a big part of me and who I am. The confidence that it gave me was unparalleled to any other thing that I've done. I learned a lot of respect for my body. And so I'll leave it at that for my journey, because we're not here for that. We're here for why I quit. So first and foremost is strength. I was told by a couple of people to not go to the gym, and these were 2 unrelated people, but both within the industry, and that is probably my biggest regret. Basically, I lost strength. It's really fucking hard to lift myself up the pole, and especially when I'm not training and not keeping up like a good gym routine, my strength slipped. I lost a lot of my core because really I'm not doing that much core in my classes. Like, yes, I'm using my core, but I'm not developing it or strengthening it outside of pole. So I did have a little bit of weight gain. It wasn't just quitting the gym. It was also just my personal life where I gained a little bit of weight. All of these factors combined in where, you know, I'm struggling to lift myself. My core isn't engaging anymore. And I don't want this to at all make anyone think about their body. It's just, I'm talking about my experience and my relationship with myself. So weight gain paired with lacking strength definitely affected my body image. It is a sport where you don't have that much clothing on. You are quite exposed, and it's a necessity. Like, you don't want to die, so you want to have your grip. So this negative body image really drove how I felt for the next few months. And that leads me into my next topic, which is mind. Whilst pole gave me a lot of confidence previously, it also gave me new insecurities that I never thought I would ever have. Because I've been told my arms are so short. When have I ever thought about my arms? Never. I mean, I've thought about my arms, how they look, but never about having short arms. I had this instructor say to me like, Jesus, no wonder you can't reach, your arms are so short. Being so genuine when I say this, that it wasn't a comment made out of trying to make me feel bad. It was just understanding my body. I have short arms. There's moves where you have to reach around the pole. I can't reach. I literally, like, can you see? Imagine the pole is kind of where my elbow is now. But it also leads into other capability insecurities. Like, these insecurities then turn into like restrictions. So it's like you kind of avoid moves because you've classified yourself already as short-armed or classified yourself as not flexible. You look at moves and you go, I'm not even going to bother trying that because it's for a bendy person. And you categorize yourself and put yourself in these little boxes. It's up to you as a dancer and you as a person to push through those boundaries. I feel like for me, this is how I got to this situation, because everything is compiling on top of each other, and I feel like I'm in a bigger hole to get out of. I really enjoyed the dance classes. I really loved like the flow classes. I love something with a routine, and I really loved that side. Now, this is a bit niche to my studio, but the dance classes that you can take there get booked out all the time. And it's the same people that book it out. And that in turn leads to a very cliquey environment. You get scared to go on certain poles because that's someone's pole, where, you know, like girls become so bitchy over their fucking pole. Yeah, there's like even times when poles become known as so-and-so's pole, or you're brave for going on so-and-so's pole, and people literally kicking you off a pole, and you know who you are and you did do this. The class that I really enjoyed the most, I couldn't do because you can't book into it. And even if you do book into it, you're going to end up with one of the shit poles out the back because every other pole is reserved by these people that do it again and again and again. That's my opinion on that. It really does get like that. I understand it though. I have comfortable poles as well, but I just wish that there was a way to make it a little bit more fair for everyone else in the class. But that's just me. Social media and pole Instagrams. Now, when I started my pole Instagram, it was very much just to log my progress, and that's all that I wanted it for. I wanted to break out of being so confined. I know I definitely struggle with expression. Naturally, as you grow more into the community, you will start to have other influences, whether it's you following people or people following you, from your studio, from outside of your studio. You know that saying, comparison will kill you? That is literally my experience with pole. I hope someone can understand what I'm trying to say. It's just very hard when you're in a particular place, you compare yourself to others. And I know that that's not on the others, that's on me and how I'm feeling, but I'm being so truthful with you that it got to me. It really got to me. I'm comparing myself to others, and I'm at such a step back compared to, say, people who have just started, or my friends that I started with, or even just a move that you're really struggling with that people can get straight away. I couldn't help but be comparing myself. It starts to weigh on the community. Like, I'm not really wanting to engage with the community because I'm not feeling good about myself. I'm deeply insecure. I can't find my footing. You can't help but be influenced and have it seep into your brain and feed insecurities. It turned into like a task to feed my ego. I would leave a session pissed off if I didn't feel like I had something good to post. There was even like a time where I was editing videos in a certain way and getting really possessive over the way that I edited videos, and pissed off that my friends were copying me or influenced, you know, like now I'm being a bad community member. I was trying to reconcile that with myself. Like, okay, you're kind of being a shitty person. So comparison really will kill you. It killed my drive. It killed my motivation, my appreciation for myself, my confidence, which leads me to my third point, soul. I know that I have a big shadow to work through with expressing myself. I used to do these private lessons where we would have to start off the session with the freestyle. I hate that word. I cannot let go. I cannot dive into myself. I can't express myself without the fear of judgment, the fear of failure. This is definitely the sticking point for me for this journey. I am very sad. This is definitely a shadow that I'll work on in my personal life. It's like I could never get to these points in freestyle where I felt like I was safe to express myself. And that's not on the instructor or the studio or anything like that, my company, anything. It's on me. And so that honestly was, I think, paired with like a bad mental state about my confidence, just really ate at me. Like, I tried to force myself to freestyle more and just not worry about it, but it honestly made it 10 times worse. And then I just sank into a bigger and bigger hole with it. Doing pole made me feel at the start more confident and like who I was. It became who I was. And that is a very dangerous thing because it's one aspect of your life that you are pinning all of your happiness too. So that's very dangerous when it goes from you. So for example, like say you get injured and then you've got no sense of self. And mine wasn't an injury, and yes, it should have driven me to not give this up, but I had to just surrender. I got to a point where I had to surrender and say, I'm pushing this rock uphill and I don't want to let go of it because it's become a defining factor for who I am. But it's making me feel so horrible. Just clinging to this with fingernails and toenails. I didn't want to let it go, because if I let this go, then who am I? It might not necessarily be the end, but I'm stopping it for now, indefinitely. I really hope that I've made sense in this video. Anyways, I want to try and leave a little bit of light and encouragement for other people, whether you're just starting pole, you're at this same point that I'm at. I want to offer some things that I've learned through this experience, bring some light out of this dark situation for me. Try a new studio. I learned a lot when I changed studios. It was really interesting, even like at one studio, they prioritized flex and dance, whereas at this other studio, they prioritized strength. Or it might even actually highlight some parts of you that you didn't realize were great. When I went to this one studio, they prioritized strength, which I definitely didn't have. But because I had come from a studio that prioritized flexibility, they were like, oh, you're so flexible. I was like, me? Flexible? So try a new studio, get a new environment, change it up. Get a new pole. If you're starting to get obsessed with like one pole in your studio, try a new space. I really enjoyed training on chrome rather than brass. I think I learned a lot when I alternated teachers. I used to go with one teacher because they're your comfort person, but it really is good to try other people. You learn so much that way. Like sometimes a different teacher would have another way of explaining a trick that you just get instantly. Also, expand your influences. Yes, the Korean girls are fucking fantastic up the pole. Yes, the Ukrainian girls are excellent at exo flow. Expand your influences so you're not stuck in the same little rut of comparison. Cross train. It doesn't have to be intensive. It doesn't have to be, don't stress yourself out about it, but just cross train, even if it's just being active in a different way outside of pole. Remember that you are a rounded person and that pole is not just the only aspect of your life and it's not the defining factor for you. Yes, you could be a great pole dancer, but you're also great at a lot of other things as well. Don't forget that, and don't forget to nourish that as well. Nourish yourself in other ways so you're not reliant on just pole to make you feel good and confident. Find your people if you can. Talking to people in my community shed light on a lot of things that I was feeling, and it really did help to know that other people were or had felt like this. If you have a cycle, then work around it. Pole when you want to. There are some weeks that polling when you're in your luteal phase is just horrendous. I know like my skin would hurt a lot more. I'm bloated, I'm weaker, and just really not in the vibe, not feeling confident. Maybe it's delusion, but I don't care. But getting a split makes me feel happier than struggling to get a split when I know that I can get a split. I'm just going to train my splits in the time when my splits are good. Remember that this hobby is supposed to make you happy. So do what you need to do to make it happy again. If you need to stop and reassess things, reassess them. It doesn't have to be the last time that you touch the pole. Maybe you're exactly where you need to be right now and doing the things that you need to. Personally, for me, I'm focusing on getting back into the gym, building up some strength just in general, and I'll see where it leads me. I also don't have a job, so maybe when I get a job, I'll feel different about booking into some classes. But thank you for bearing with me through this chat. I really do hope that someone here has taken something from this video. All the best in your journey. If you're starting your journey, all the best. You're gonna love it. But remember to look after yourself as well, okay? Please feel free to leave a comment below if there's something that you're struggling with. Maybe I can shed light.